Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is super special and super exciting to me. These are my Little Miss Bonnie dolls. That's what I decided to name mine. You guys can name yours whatever you want to, it doesn't matter. But are they not the cutest things ever? I am so proud of myself, and I think you can hear it in my voice, for how these dolls turned out, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it has taken me 2 weeks of designing, working my design, failing, ripping it out, redoing it, to finally get the doll of the body to where I liked it just right. And then another week of designing, messing up, ripping out, redoing the dress. The bonnet was easy. The bonnet, I did pretty good on that the first time. So it's taken me 3 weeks of designing plus another week of filming to get this doll and the doll dress. Because we make the body, the shoes, everything. Just go ahead and show you. Oop, I bumped her head. So yeah, we make the body. We make the arms, the feet, all of it we're going to crochet, okay? The only thing that we're not crocheting are her hands and her head. Okay, so let's just get straight into what you're going to need, okay? So in the description box, I'm going to have a link for you. And that's where you're going to get your head and hand sets. It's one purchase. They come together. The link is it'll be the very first link in the description box, okay? And so you can get that and get it as soon as you can, because yeah, you're gonna need one of these in your life. All right, you can see up your dress. Okay, so after that, after you get your head and your hand set, you are gonna need a 4mm crochet hook and a 5mm. The 5mm, the only time we use that is there's a part at the back of the bonnet where we slip stitch, and I suggest going up a hook size just because it keeps those slip stitches from getting a little too tight. Other than that, that's the only time we use that 5mm crochet hook. Okay, so let's talk about your yarn. So for this one, she has white as her main color, and all Red Heart Super Saver. White as her main color, and then light or pale plum as the purple. And then this one has the royal blue and as the main color, and then the variegated is Red Heart Super Saver Wildflower. And I got all 4 of those at Walmart. So you're gonna need 1 skein each. And that's for the dress, the bonnet, the headband, and then the panties. Now she has her panties on, but these are what the panties are going to look like, and it's just underneath her dress. So that's for her clothing. For the body, you can use any 4-weight yarn you want. I just used what I had next to me, and that was Red Heart Super Saver Buff. It's not the perfect body color, but like I said, it's what I had next to me, and I just made it out of scraps. So you're going to need 1 skein for the color of the body that you choose. You can use white, you can use whatever color you want to, it doesn't matter. And then for the shoes, now this one you can see I used black, but in the tutorial, this one is, oh no, I'm dropping everything. This one is Red Heart Super Saver Coffee. So, if you do want to use use black for the shoes, I suggest to get a headlamp. And if you don't know what a headlamp is, it's just a little flashlight that's on a elastic band that goes around your head. And those things get super, super bright. And sitting in a dark room with, you know, that super bright flashlight on your head, I can work with black that way. If you can't, I completely understand. Use whatever color you want to for the shoes, okay? But like I said, I just use brown. So there's that, and then you're going to need some polyfill. That's what we're going to stuff our body with, and I just have a Ziploc baggie. So I have to tell you guys a story. I last year or the year before, I don't remember what year, I made this big old floor poof and a matching pillow to go on your back, and I had bought, I don't remember how much the bag weighed. It was like the biggest bag of polyfill you can buy. And I stuffed that floor poof with it, and then I needed more, so I got more. Well, then I decided I don't need that floor poof anymore, so I pulled that entire thing out, and now I have this big trash bag in my closet full of polyfill. So I just go in there with my little gallon Ziploc baggie and fill up my Ziploc bag every time I need polyfill. So that's why I just have a Ziploc bag of polyfill, but... All right, so you're going to need, just get you one of those small bags of polyfill from Walmart or any craft store. Let's see, what else? Okay, so there's one part I do want to talk about, and that is the hands. So the hands, and I explain in the video about the deal with the hands. I was expecting something else when I ordered them, and they came and it was not what I was expecting it. So the hands are, I'm a little concerned if you're going to be giving your doll to a child, only because they could potentially pop those hands out if they wanted to. I mean, they're going to have to jerk and jerk and jerk on those hands to pop them out. So I highly recommend that if you're going to give your doll to a child, to glue the hands in as well as tie them in like we're going to. And I totally suggest using E6000 glue. Now I get this from Walmart, and it's an industrial strength glue. Let it dry overnight, and I'm telling you, those kids are never going to pop those hands out of there. They're never going to move. All right, so another thing that you're going to need is some way, however you decide to, either buttons, hook and eye closures, or just using a strand of yarn to close the back of the dress. I was actually going to use buttons, but I don't have buttons small enough to go through the stitches of the dress, so I ended up getting these Dritz sew-on snaps. They just, well, if I can get them off, there. It just pops off. See, there's the back. So there's the back, and here's the front. Focus on my hands, and then they just snap together. I sewed 3 of those on the back of my dress with needle and thread, and make sure you use a thread that matches your dress. You don't, like I said, you don't have to do that. You can do however you want to. Just if you're going to sew buttons on, make sure the buttons will fit between the spaces of your stitches. And make sure you have a thread that matches your dress. And then if you're just going to use a strand of thread or a strand of yarn, just, you know, make it long enough. You'll get it. Okay, let me just take a second. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? No, that is everything. So get your head and your hands ordered. I did email the company and ask them how many they had in stock, because I didn't want to do this tutorial and them not have, then, you know, and them only have like 20 headsets in stock. So I emailed them, and they have plenty in stock. So I would get them as soon as you can. And, let me just go over this real quick. You're going to need a way to close the back of the dress, a skein of yarn for the main color of the dress, a skein of yarn for the secondary color for your dress, a 4mm hook, a 5mm hook, just because we don't want to get those slip stitches on the back of the bonnet too tight. Go ahead and grab you a tape measure. You're going to need a little bit of a tape measure. And then get you some bag of polyfill and oh, and glue if you were going to glue those hands in, okay? Other than that, I am pretty sure we've got it all. So let's get our supplies together and get started on these cuties. I'm so happy. All right, guys, let's get started. So of course, I already forgot to mention, part 2, we are going to be making the dress only, and then part 3, we are going to make the bonnet, the headband, and then the little panties, okay? And all of the links are, the link for part 2 and part 3 are going to be in the description box too, all right? Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, real quick, I forgot to mention, when she is fully made, she measures 15.5 inches. Now that's my tension. Someone else's tension she may be a tad bit shorter or a tad bit taller, okay? All right, I promise you guys, now we can get started. Alrighty, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the arms. And the reason we're going to start with the arms is so that we can single crochet it into the body as we go. So arms are going to be first, and then we might go ahead and just make the legs while we're at it. But let's just start with these arms for now. So what I'm going to do is get a slip knot on my hook. And I want to have a longer tail. I'm going to do about 1 foot of a tail. Get the slip knot on my hook, and we are going to start with a chain of 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Now what I want you to do is hold your chain by where your hook is and take your hand and run it down your chain. Make sure it's not twisted. And then bring that tail and point it at your hook, just like that. I get the yarn on my hand. Point your very first chain towards your hook, and we're going to go right in there and slip stitch and chain 1. And we're going to go right back into that chain with a single crochet. We're going to stop, mark that chain, mark that single crochet, because throughout this pattern, unless I say otherwise, ending a row, but at no time are we going to slip stitch to join our rounds. We are going to work in continuous rounds, so the stitch marker is going to indicate the first stitch of the round for me. If you guys prefer to use it for the last stitch of the round, it's whatever, as long as you're keeping track. All right, so this is what we have so far. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this out just like that and bring that tail to the outside of my little ring right there. And now what we're going to do is work a single crochet into each of the remaining chains all the way around until we get back to the stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and start single crocheting into each of my chains. Making sure I'm not twisting it. Just about there. Oop. The reason I want to stay with you guys with this is because at the end it can get a little confusing. Okay, so now to look at this, it looks like I have one more one more chain to work into, right? But that's actually the slip stitch right here. This is actually the slip stitch. There's the chain 1, and then there's the first single crochet. So if you're ever in doubt, stop and count. So I'm going to go ahead and count mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and there's 19. All right, so that is the end of round 1. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull that slip knot a little bit, tighten it up. And now we're gonna move on to round 2, and we're just gonna jump right across to that first single crochet. I'm gonna give my stitch marker, my stitch marker a tug so I can see the, the first single. Jump right across there. Single crochet into that first single, and that is the first single of round 2. And all we're gonna do is work a single crochet into each single all the way around. And that is what we are going to do for round 2, which we're on right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to round 14. Just gonna single crochet into each single all the way around for round after round 2 for 12 more rounds. So we will have a total of 14 rounds. All right, so that's round 2. Dang it, I messed that up. All right, so there's the last one for round 2. So for round 3, remove my stitch marker, single crochet in that first single, put my stitch marker back, and single crochet all the way around. And that's what you're going to do to finish this round right here, which is round 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pause my video, or pause my camera, and I'm going to get mine done off camera. So you guys go ahead and get yours done and come back when you have the 14th round done, all right? So I will be right back. All right, I am back. I've done my 14 rounds. So now I'm going to remove that stitch marker, and I'm going to slip stitch to that very first single, chain 1, pull up a loop. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I about got ahead of myself. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and then what we're going to do is we are going to fold our piece so that that slip stitch is to the side right there, right like that. All right, now what we're going to do is back loop, single crochet through through each side of the singles. Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied. We're going to back loop, single crochet through both sides. We're going to single crochet this top shut. So what we're going to do is, so with that folded, I want the slip stitch, the single crochet that slip stitch is in right there, that's going to be in the fold. The single crochet that we worked right there is what I'm going to back loop into this one, and then catch the back loop of this one and single. Next, and next, next, and next. Now this doesn't have to be exact. I already have my first arm done, and I came up with 9 single crochet across. It's not a huge deal if you're not right, or like if one has 8 or one. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can get 8. And then the last one, I'm just going to shove my hook in there where I can get it. And there's 9. Chain 1 and pull up a loop. Cut, and we will weave in that in later. But first, we are going to get in there and give these stitches a tug and loosen them up. Just like that. Alright, we are going to stuff our arm now. Now I want to make sure you guys know We don't want to overstuff our arm. Let me show you on my first doll I made. We don't want to overstuff her arm. See how it stays nice and floppy? If we overstuffed it, her arm would constantly stay out like that. And that's not what we want. We want it to be able to move up and down. So, we're going to stuff just a little. And it might help if you kind of keep these last few stitches, kind of just pinch it with your hand so you don't get stuffing into it. And the nice thing is, if you get too much, see how I'm pulling it on that and the stuffing's coming out the top? If you do accidentally overstuff, you can do that and that stuffing will go inside your hand. So I'm actually going to leave mine like this. Just like that. And now I want to explain to you guys something about these hands. So whenever I found this head and hand set, most of the hands that I've always worked with have a ridge. Well, it's just... So it'll have a ridge just like this head. See the little ridge right there? And what you can do is... you know, weave your tail in and out to like a drawstring and then pull it as tight as you can into this ridge, knot it off, you know, weave your tail in and out of that ridge and pull it tight, and it's not coming out, that's actually what we're going to be doing with this head. But what I'm trying to say is that these, usually the hands I work with have that ridge. Well, I didn't realize when I picked these hands out that these don't have the ridge. So here's the thing. If you want to glue, actually, if you're going to give this doll to a child, I highly recommend to glue the hand as well as what we're getting ready to do. Because what I have done is just weave the tail in and out around the beginning chain, pull it as tight as I can, tie it in a knot, do it again, pull it as tight as I can, tie it in another knot, and then hide the tail inside. And then, like, I can pull and it's not coming out. But if you're going to give this doll to a child, eventually, somehow, one way or another, they're going to pop the hand out of that. So if I were you, and you were giving this to a child and you want to, I suggest... getting a pack of E6000. This is industrial strength permanent glue. It will not come out. So you can see it right there. Industrial strength adhesive. And I suggest getting you some of that. And not right now, but after we get this tail weaved around and we get it nice and tied off, then, you know, pull it back just a little and add some glue around in there to keep it nice and secure. Like I said, with mine, it's not a huge deal because mine's not going to a kid. I'm keeping mine. I'm going to take some of that stuffing out. I don't want to accidentally overstuff. But anyway, so if you prefer to do that, then by all means add the glue. If you're not going to do that, go ahead and with that long tail, get that threaded on your needle, and what we're going to do is we're going to weave it in and out of the chains from round one, or I mean the beginning chain, and I'm just weaving it in and out. But like I said, my first arm that I made, not on my first doll, but for this tutorial, the first arm, I've gotten that pretty tight around that hand. But like I said, kids are amazing with the things that they can do. And one way or another, they will figure out how to pop that hand off or, you know, finagle with it enough that it'll come out of there. Alright, so now I'm just going to pull this tight. Be careful, don't snap your yarn. I've done that. All right. I want that to be to the underside. Okay, so I'm going to pull that as tight as I can without snapping it. And I'm going to bring it back this way. Don't pull it all the way through. Just leave a little loop. And then I'm going to run my needle through that loop and then pull tight and it'll knot it down. And I'm going to do it again. Let's go right here. Let's go through there. Don't pull it tight. Run your needle through that loop and pull it tight. And then I'm just going to take the needle and go right through the arm. Pull it down. And then give that tail a little bit of a tug and snip, and the tail pops right back inside the arm and you can't see it. See, now it's not moving, but man, I wouldn't want to risk it. And I like that the hand twists too. That's pretty neat. All right, so now we can just hide this tail. And all I'm gonna do, whenever you hide this tail, don't distort your single crochets up here. Just take it through the side and then run it through the arm. Just like that. Gotta make sure we can still see those single crochets. All right, so now I'm gonna snap that. And there is our arm. So now you just have to make the other one. I think that's perfect. And I love that, you know, we don't stuff it that much, so it's still bendable and posable. Well, not posable, but you know what I mean. Still movable. All right. So, pause your video. Go ahead and make your second arm. And come back here, and we are going to get started on our leg. Or legs, I should say. More than one leg. Alrighty, so to get started on our leg, we're going to get our yarn back and get our hook. And we are going to start with, turn my page here. And we don't need a long tail. We can just use a regular length to weave it in. Get a slip knot on your hook, and this time we're going to chain 25. So I'm going to go ahead and pause my video and get that chain done so you guys don't have to watch me chain. Alrighty, I've got my 25 chains done. Actually, I'm going to bring you guys back in. I should have done that earlier. Alright, so we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the arm. Hold our chain, run your hand down, and then rotate your chain so your tail or your slip knot and your first chain are pointing right to your hook. So I'm going to slip past that to my other hand, get my yarn in my fingers, and I'm going to go right through that top loop right there and slip stitch, chain one, and go right back in there with a single crochet. Stop and mark that. And then single crochet into each of the chains around. So this part is exactly the same thing we did with the leg, or with the arm. Single crochet into each chain. Making sure that your chain doesn't twist. Oops, or make sure you catch all the strands. There we go. All right, I'm gonna, excuse me, I ate a salad for lunch and I keep like having indigestion. I'm gonna go ahead and pause my video and finish single crocheting into these chains. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I made it around, and once again, that last, what looks like is the chain is not a chain, that's the slip stitch. then there's the chain 1, and there's our first single crochet. So if you're in doubt, just stop for a second and count, okay? All right, so I'm going to tighten down that slip knot. All right, so that's the end of round 1. So round 2, do the exact same thing we did for the arm. Single crochet into the very first single. And remember, we mark it to keep track that this is round 2. And we single crochet into each single round. All right, so we're going to repeat this, single crochet into each single crochet all the way around, all the way around. That's the end of round 2. Start round 3, remove the stitch marker, single into the first single, put your stitch marker back, single crochet all the way around. Okay, so we are going to repeat that for 21 more rounds. So when you're done, you should have round 1, 2, and then 22 total rounds, okay? All right, so I am going to stop my camera here and let you guys get your 22 total rounds done. And I will be right back when I get mine done, all right? Okay, I will be right back. All right, I am back, and I just finished my 22nd round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and there's 22. So what we're going to do is slip stitch to the very first single crochet of the round, chain 1, pull up a loop, cut, and there you go. You can see I already had my yarn cut. Okay, so that is the leg. So now what we're going to do is start the shoe part of the leg. Now I did the one we're going to do together is brown. Oh, excuse me. But the first one I did was in black, and it's very easy to do if you get a really bright, like a headlamp. And if you guys don't know what a headlamp is it's just a flashlight that's on a band that you can put around your head. But and it's really bright. Then I don't have a problem working with black. But if you guys don't want black, it's not a big deal. I completely understand. Not everybody can work with it. So today I have got this brown. It's just Red Heart Super Saver Coffee. And we are going to start into the single crochet next to the one we fastened off into. So not into this one, right next to it, to the left of it, okay? So I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure that you leave enough tail to weave in. And I'm going to go not into this one, but into the next one. The very next one to the left. Go in there with a slip stitch, chain 1. I'm going to pull my tail and go right back in there with a single crochet. Okay, now we are going to single crochet. Trying to find where I am on my pattern. All right, we are going to single crochet into the next 10 singles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we should have 11 single crochet right there. All right, so now we are going to single crochet increase into the next 2 single crochet. So single crochet increase is just simply 2 single crochets into the next single. All right, single crochet increase into the next, which is just 2 single crochet. And now we're going to single crochet into the last 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I want these tails to the outside of my leg. All right, and there's 11. So now if you look, we actually have one single crochet left. That's the one we slip stitched to when we finished round 22. But we're not going to work into it. So we've just finished round 23. We're going to move on to round 24. And what we're going to do is just go right into that first brown single crochet. So we're going to skip that slip stitch and the chain one and the single crochet we slip stitched into. We're just going to completely skip it and jump right to that first single crochet. So right in there, may be a little hard to see, we're going to single crochet right there. So that's the first single of round 24. So I'm going to mark that. It's a lot darker on my camera than it is in person. But anyway, all right. So to move on to round 24, we are going to single crochet into the next 10 single crochets. So we already have one. So now we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we should have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I miscounted. All right, so the very next single crochet, or the next set of stitches, is actually that increase. So that's right. So now I should have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, good deal. Okay, so now we are going to single crochet increase into the next single crochet. So once again, that's just 2 single into the next single crochet. And now we're going to single crochet into the next 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we are going to single crochet increase into the next single. And now we're going to single crochet into the last 9. So I'm just going to make sure we have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So just single crochet back to our stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so that was round 24. So now we're going to move on to 25. We're going to single crochet into the very first single. Mark that to mark our first single. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we should have 11 single crochet right there. Uh-oh, about dropped my notepad. Okay, so now we are going to single crochet increase into the next. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet, increase into the next. And now we should have 9 singles left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, single crochet into the last 9 single. And that will be the end of round 25. Eight and 9. Okay, so that was round 25. So we're going to go on to round 26. I'm going to get a drink. All right, so round 27, or 26, we're going to single crochet right into that very first single crochet. Stop and mark that. All right, now single crochet into the next 10 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we are going to single crochet, increase into the next. 1, 2, and now we're going to single crochet into the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Single crochet, increase into the next. 1 and 2. Get in there. And now we're going to single crochet into the last 9. 1, 2, 3. Give me some slack. 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh, don't go in there. 7, 8, and 9. All right, so now we're going to go on to round 27. We're almost done. We are going to single crochet into the very first single. Mark that. Single crochet into the next 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Increase into single crochet, increase into the next. Single crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase into the next. Single crochet, increase, that is. Single into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase into the next. And now we're going to single crochet into the last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good deal. So that was the end of round 27. So now, round 28, all we're going to do is single crochet into each single all the way around. So I am going to let you guys work that off camera. Just single into your first, just like we have been. And mark it. And single crochet into each single. So I will come back once I get back to where we started, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I single crocheted into each single all the way around, and that is the end of round 28. So round 29, we are going to work back loop, single crochet into each single all the way around. So the back loop, man, I wish you guys to see this in real life is not the same as it is on camera. It's so much darker on camera. But all I'm going to do is just go right into the back loop only and work a single. Stop and mark it. And then back loop single into each single all the way around. So what this is doing is giving us the turn to have a flat bottom on our shoe. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys, not like you can see me anyway, I'm gonna let you guys finish working a back loop into each of the single crochets all the way around, and we're almost done. All right, I will finish this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made it around. I have one more to go into, so back loop into that. All right, so now we're going to start decreasing and we're going to close the bottom of our shoe. So for round 30, no more back loops. We don't have to do that anymore. We are going to work a decrease over the first two single crochet. So your single crochet decrease, or just for the purpose of this pattern, we're just going to call it a decrease. You go into the first single, pull up a loop, go into the next single, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that is a decrease. So then we're going to single into the next, decrease over the next 2, single, decrease, single, decrease. And that's what you're going to repeat all the way around. Single crochet into the next, decrease over the next 2, single into the next, decrease over the next 2. All right, so go ahead and repeat that, and I will meet you when we get back to the beginning. Okay, so I made that all the way around, and I actually have 1 single crochet left, but we're just gonna continue working around as if we're not marking rows anymore, okay? But I still am gonna mark, so I'm just gonna remove that stitch marker. It'll make sense in just a minute. So I worked a single, so now I'm gonna go ahead and work a decrease. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark that one as my first stitch, okay? If you came out to where you had a decrease and that was the end of your round, that's perfectly fine, or a single, that's perfectly fine. We don't have a certain stitch count right now. It doesn't matter anymore, okay? All right, so we're going to repeat that again, and since we already worked our decrease, I'm going to single into the next and decrease over the next 2. Single, decrease. And I am trying to work these as tightly as I can. So if you would prefer to go down a hook, not a half hook size, but an actual hook size, go ahead. Well, you may want to go to I don't know how easy it would be to work with a 3mm and a 4-weight yarn. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and work my singles and my decreases all the way around till I get back to my stitch marker, which I'm already almost there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stay with you guys. Decrease, single, decrease, single, decrease. So I ended with an even decrease. I don't have any stitches left. You may not come out like that. It doesn't matter. Not a big deal at all. All right, so I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and I'm not going to need it anymore, because what we're going to do now is decrease into each stitch around until we can no longer work anymore. So to do that, I'm going to pull you out so you can see exactly what I'm doing when I hold it like this. So I'm just going to start decreasing into each stitch that I can get into, and it's going to close fast. So you just got a few left already. Decrease. Decrease. So it's getting so small I can't get my hands in there anymore. There, you can see it. See the little hole? I can still work them though. We gotta get it smaller. Decrease. I'm going to go one more. Well, let me see. Yep, I'm gonna call it there. I am not gonna try to work anymore. I'm gonna let you guys see what I've got. See the hole that's right there? I'm gonna call that good. And I am going to slip stitch into the next stitch the best you can, chain one, and pull up a longer tail, and we'll weave that in a minute. And we are done with our leg. Now all we do is stuff. So it's the same concept with the leg. We don't want to overstuff or it's going to set straight out. And we want it to have a nice pretty shape. Flat bottom, not too thick, not too thin. Nice leg. If that makes any sense. All right, so I got some polyfill, and this first part we're gonna do the shoe. So we want to make sure we get it all the way down there. So I just use the bottom of my crochet hook. Get it in there. I need a little bit more in there. That's probably way too much. So what I do is I get that all the way down there in the shoe, and I make sure the shoe is full and it has a shape. I think that, I don't know, I think that needs just a tad bit more. Okay, and then I set my leg down like this, and then I kind of roll it around to get that fiber, the polyfill, moved around so the bottom of my shoe is flat. I mean, obviously it's not perfectly flat, but I mean, it's flat-ish. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just continue up the leg. Now remember, do not completely stuff all the way to the top because we don't want it to be too filled. See how it looks lumpy? I don't want that. So I'm going to roll it. So once you get your leg the way you like it, which I'm pretty happy with that. Once you get your first one done, it's the second one is so much easier because you can use the second one as a guide to how you want your... You can use the first one as a guide to how you want your second leg. All right, so once you are happy with the way your leg looks, go ahead and get your yarn. Get a slip knot on your hook. Leave enough tail so you have plenty to weave in. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold your leg facing you with the shoe the whole front of the shoe facing you. Just like that. And then pinch the top shut like that. And we're going to attach on the far right side through the remaining loops of the very first chain, the beginning chain that we did, okay? Attach with a slip stitch, chain one, go right back into the same remaining loops that you attached into and work a single. And we're just going to work a single crochet straight across those remaining loops from the beginning chain. Now, For your first one, you want to try to have 13, roughly 13 single crochet. If you don't have 13, let's say you have 14 or you have 12, not a big deal. Just rough, somewhere around 13. And then let's say you only have 12, that's perfectly fine. And then the only thing is, when you make your second leg, try to make sure you have that same number, okay? So if you have 13 on your first leg, get 13 on your second leg. And I have went ahead and single crocheted right across those remaining chains. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to get one more in there for 12. And then on the edge is a little rough to see, so I'm just going to shove my hook wherever I can get it and work one more for 13. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. So there is our leg. Now I'm going to go ahead and weave in all these ends. For weaving in the ends, there's, well, besides this very first one at the bottom of the shoe, what we're going to do is get that on our needle, and I'm going to go in and out around these last few stitches we had and pull it tight just to close up that ring, or close up that hole, and then run my needle through the brown part only. Pull it tight and cut, and it pops right back inside of the shoe. But what I was going to say was, the only trick to weaving in these ends is only run the buff through the buff and the coffee through the coffee. Don't run the buff color through the coffee, or you're going to see it, and I don't like doing that. Okay, so right up through the leg. Pull it tight and snip. Go ahead and do this coffee strand. Oh, I guess there is another thing I would want to say about weaving in your ends here. The very top one, let me get to it. Get rid of some of those little fiber fill pieces. Or polyfill. Okay, so this one up here, weave that, well, you don't even need to weave it in. Just take it right, well, all three of them actually. Take them right through the side and down the leg. Just don't distort the top of the 13 or however many you have single crochets, okay? That's the only thing that I would suggest, is just don't weave it through the top of those singles. Just go right into the side and just go down your leg. Pull it tight to give it a little tug. Straighten that back out. Do the same with these two. I'm actually just going to do both of them together. Right into the side and down into the leg. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Pull and snip. Straighten that back out. And there is your leg. Ta-da! Now you just have to repeat it for the other leg. Oh, I love this doll. Alright, let me get my little area cleaned up. I'm going to pull you guys out. I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So once you have your arms and legs done, oh, excuse me, I'm burping my salad. All right, we are going to start with our body right here. Now, we start at the neck. When we start the same way we did with the arms and the legs, we start out with a chain, and then well, we're working it this way actually. We start out with our beginning chain, single crochet into each of those chains, work so many rows, and then we stop, and then we single crochet around the row just like we have been, and then we single crochet through the singles at the end of our arm and into our next row of our work. If that makes sense. I'll show you. But okay, so go ahead and get your other leg done. and get your arms done. We'll be right back. Okay, so to get started with our body, we are going to get a slip knot on our hook. But make sure you give yourself at least a 1.5 feet. If that's too much, it's perfect. It's fine. Just leave yourself about 1.5 feet of tail, because that is what we're going to use to sew our body to the head, okay? All right, so to get started, we are going to start with a chain. That's a really tight slip. We're going to start with a chain of 30. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to make you guys watch me chain 30. I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so I got my chain of 30 done, and I'm going to do the same thing that we've done for the leg and the arm. I'm going to hold my work, run my fingers down my chain, and then rotate my hand a little, and bring that first chain and that slip knot right and point it towards my hook. Switch it off to my other hand, get my yarn in my fingers, and I'm going to come right down and slip stitch into that chain. Chain 1 and single crochet right back into that chain. Pull that slip knot tight and use my stitch marker to mark the first single. All right, now we're just going to single crochet into each chain. Oh, come on now. Single crochet into each chain all around, just like we have. So I will go ahead and get this done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have single crocheted all the way around, and again, make sure that very last one, even though it looks like a chain, it's not. That's your slip stitch. There's your chain 1, and there's your first single crochet, okay? All right, so now we're going to go on to round 2, and round 2 we are just going to jump straight to that first single crochet and single, mark it, and single crochet into each single around. All right, so I am going to get my round 2 done, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have single crocheted into each of my singles all the way around for round 2. We're going to go on to round 3. So into our very first single crochet, we are going to work a increase. So that, again, that's 2 singles into 1 and 2. I'm going to stop and mark that first single so I don't lose track. So that's the beginning of round 3. So we single crochet increase, and now we single into the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. Single crochet increase into the next. And single into the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet increase into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat around. Increase, single crochet into 3. Increase, single crochet into 3. Increase, single crochet into 3, all the way around, and I will meet you when we get back to our beginning, okay? Okay, so I worked that around, and I ended with an increase into my last single crochet. Now this is important. We need 38 single crochets, okay? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay. So if you don't have 38, do a little finagling until you get 38 single crochet, okay? Here is the fun part. we are going to single crochet our arms in. All right, so we are going to start with single crocheting into the first 6 single crochet. So 1, mark it, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now, so I have 9 single crochet across the top of mine. So what I need is to single crochet the 9 single crochet into the 9 single crochet on here. If you have 8, then go into 8. If you have 10, then go into 10, all right? But here's the important part. We need this. Let me pull you guys back. We need it to lay right. So we can't just put it on like this and single crochet across, or it leaves a ridge right there. So what we're going to do is hold our piece with our chain, our beginning chain 30 facing up, because this is where her head's going to be. Let me just pop this on there. Okay? Her head's going to be like that. So what we want to do is hold our arm up just like this. And then we're going to hold it like this and single crochet around like that. And then when we're done, we can let it go and our arm will fall like this. So this is especially important if you've glued your hand down. So if you want your hand to, well, if you've already glued it, you can't do that. Never mind. Sorry, I don't. Never mind. So what you want is your hand to be down, and we are going to turn. I'm going to go ahead and just take her head off so you don't get confused. We're going to hold our piece just like this and take our arm and hold it like this against our body, because remember, our head's here. So we want it just like this, with the hand facing away from where our head would be. Okay? So after we single crochet that, we're going to turn it over and her arm's going to lay just like it's supposed to. Just like that. Let me get my tails out of the way. So we want to hold our work just like we are. This is where the head's going to be. And we want our hand to be up and out. Just like that. Now, if you did like I did and you didn't glue yours, it's no big deal. You can just turn your hand, right? And it'll go however. But if you glued yours, this is really important. We want it to be up like this. Up and out. All right. Okay, so I think we got that. Let me get you guys brought back in. So I'm going to bring my arm in and I'm going to set it along the next 9 singles. Or if you've got 8 or 10, however many, we're going to single crochet through the arm first and then through the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry for the squeak. 6, 7, 8. Through that one and through the next is 9. So if I pull that up, and now I hold it with the head on and the head facing me, and I let go of that arm. See how her arm falls? The thumb is to the front, and the palm is to where the belly is going to be. Okay? And if it takes you a couple of times to get it right, don't worry about it. Just pull it out and start row 4 over. Okay, so we have, and you know what? It may even help if you just put the head in the hole for a minute and then work, you know, use that as your basis of where the arm is going to go. or how the arm is going to go, the direction of the hand and stuff. All right, so now we are going to single crochet into the next 9. Now, if you had 10 on your hand, you're going to single crochet into the next 8. If you had 8 on your 8 single crochet across your arm, then you're going to single crochet into the next 10. All right, but since I had 9, I'm going to go ahead and single crochet into the next 9 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, now I'm going to get my other arm, and now I'm going to hold it to my work. And remember, I want the hand up and both thumbs facing out. And now I'm just going to single crochet through the arm and my next 9 single crochet, and however many you have on your arm, whether it's 9 or 8 or 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's my last one is 9. All right, so now I'm going to single crochet into the last 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've only got 5. I think I may have missed one. That's right, just single crochet into the last, until your remaining stitches. 1. And now I should still have, I think I may have messed up on my pattern when I was writing it because I have a question mark next to my stitch count. We still should have 38 single crochet. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So I did mess up when I wrote my pattern. Should be into the last 5, and we still should have 38. Okay. Okay, so, but like I said, if you guys had 10 on your arm right here, then you should have only crocheted into 8. And if you had, you get the point. If you have one more, you're going to have 1 less here. If you had 1 less, you're going to have 1 more here. All right, so there is our arms sewn to our body. All right, so for round 5, we are going to just work 1 single crochet into each single all the way around. Still have 38 single crochets, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get my single crochets done, and I will be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I single crocheted all the way around, and for round 6 we're going to repeat round 3. We're going to increase into the very first single crochet, one and 2, mark that very first single, and then single crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry if you can hear my hands. Let's see this. Increase, 1, 2, 3. Increase into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat around, okay? Single crochet 3, increase into the next. Single crochet 3, increase into the next. So you guys go ahead and repeat that around, and I will meet you when we get back to the beginning, okay? Okay, so I have repeated that around, and I have an increase, 1, 2, 3, and I have 2 single crochet left. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and increase again into the third to last, increase here into my second to, oops, into my second to last, and then I'm going to increase into my last. And the reason we are doing that is because we need 50 single crochet, and I was off by 2, so I think this is going to give us 50 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Like, if you guys look at my chicken scratch, by the time I design this doll and I work on other tutorials and then I come back to it, I'm confused in what I wrote and it may be wrong and I don't, yeah, so there you go. That's how we're going to work round 6. Just work your increase 3 single crochet, increase 3 single crochet to the last 3 singles, increase into the last 3 singles so you can get 50 single crochet. Okay. It's all good. As long as you have 50 single crochet, that's what we need. All right. Okay, so here comes a big homework part that I'm going to have to stop and probably take me a couple days to get time to get this done. But what we're going to do now is work rounds 7 to 30. All we're going to do is single crochet around, okay? So rows 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right? All you're going to do is single crochet all the way around. Mark your first, single crochet all the way around. Mark your first, single crochet all the way around. All right? And that is going to give us this nice body. Okay? So I am going to stop my camera, and with the power of my camera magic, I will come back and have my 30th row finished. So, and ta-da! I am done with my 30th round. Pretty neat, huh? Anyway, so now that we've finished our 30th round, I'm just going to stop and just kind of give everything a tug just to get those stitches loosened up. No, I don't want to say loosened up, at least not so stiff. How's that? So this is what your piece should be looking like. So now I am going to go ahead and just use that stitch marker. Let go. I'm going to use this stitch marker so I don't lose that stitch. Okay, I'm just going to mark it just like that. And what we're going to do now is sew on our head. So I'm going to get a needle. I'm going to thread the long tail from the very beginning. I'm going to thread that onto my needle. I'm going to go ahead and put the head inside, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave this starting from the back. I'll show you without the head. I'm going to weave it in and out. See where the bottom of the single crochets are and the remaining loops from the chains? I'm just going to weave in and out of there. If I If I don't exactly go where I need to, it's perfectly fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Just in and out. All right, now I'm going to put her head in. And what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around and then pull it as tight as we can, but we want to keep it in the ridge of the, mine's a little dirty. I can't get all that off. But anyway, keep it in the ridge of that neck right there, okay? Get on there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have my hand inside, and then I have it inside of her head. And I'm just going to keep weaving in and out, in and out. Now, it's been a few days since I worked on this. And I did dishes before I started filming. And then I put lotion on my hands, so it's not really working the greatest with holding this needle. Alright. In, out, in, and out. Okay, so this is kind of, actually I'm just going to turn her head so I don't have to see it. Because after we get this sewn tight, her head will turn. So if you just need to rotate her head a little bit, that's fine. In and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. Alright, so I made it all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and just pull tight and make sure that the ridge stays inside of the chains, I should say, stays in the ridge of the head, okay? Now I'm just pulling it tight, and I'm just going to go around again. In and out. Like, now this round I'm not going to be able to do it as in and out every stitch. I'm gonna miss stitches, and the only reason being is because you kind of can't see it anymore unless you pull it back out like I just did. All right, tighten that down, and I'm just gonna keep going around. Turn her head. I know that I wasn't very nice with her. Where am I at? In. It's getting tight. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pull it the opposite way, and you can see how tight it gets around in that ridge. And I am going to, actually I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around, so I'm to the back again, which the back you can see is where the beginning slip knot is. I'm going to go ahead and work that around so the tail isn't right in the front. Then okay, just about to the back. All right, ow, poke myself. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this tail stay. And the reason being is because, ooh, she lost some hair. And the heads that I've gotten, their hair's not falling out, it's just they've been in that package. So some hair might come out, but that's all right. I just have a little bit right there. We're going to leave that tail because we are going to finish securing it after we are done assembling her. So her head is on right now, and we want to make sure it's facing to the front. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so now we've got our head attached, so we are going to stuff her body. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that there. So I'm just gonna start stuffing her body. Right now what I'm doing is making sure a bunch of stuffing gets in like that head and, not in the head, but at the head and neck area. Now our goal is when we stuff her, we want it to be around flat like that here at the bottom, because that's where we're going to sew on the legs. So it's not going to take as much stuffing as you think. I just want to make sure her like up by her head and neck area is really stuffed, so it's not flopping around. Her head, not her eyes. Okay, so I'm going to overstuff just a tad bit so that after I sew her legs, no I'm not. I'm just going to leave it just like this. I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm going to let you guys see how stuffed she is, and I'm just pinching it shut right here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fasten off right here. Should have just done this at the beginning instead of putting that stitch marker in there. Anyway, I'm going to slip stitch in there, chain one, pull up a loop, get rid of your cat hair, and cut. I did not get rid of the cat hair. All right, and cut. And I'm just going to put that tail to the inside. We're not going to see it. Okay, so now we are going to sew the legs on. Just like this. Get that tail out of the way. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just weave that tail in. It's going to bug me. I'm going to weave that tail in off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back and I have that end weaved in. What we're going to do now is we're going to get a strand of our body color yarn. Let's do a foot or a foot and a half. Get you a foot and a half strand and weave that onto your needle. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our body and we're going to how do I want to word this? I want to take it with her head up, make sure her arms are nice and straight and even where you want them, and then just kind of flatten it a little bit. All we're doing is trying to get a flattened shape right here, so when we fold it shut, her legs are going to be sewn in like this, and we want the legs to the front of the foot to be straight with the front of the body. That's all we're doing right now, okay? So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flatten so it's nice and even, just like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to flatten it. And if you notice, see the 2 single crochet right on the edge, this one, and then there's one right there. So I have 2 single crochet on there, and there's not one in between there. That's one next to the other. All right, so what we're going to do is go through one side of the body, and I'm going to grab my leg, and I should have 13. If you have more or less, it's not a huge deal. It's perfectly fine. And I'm going to go make sure I have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that's how many I had. So I know that is my number 1. So I'm going to go through the back of the body, through the leg, making sure the foot is forward, just like the head is forward. Okay, so I pulled that out. Go back through the first single, and then I'm going to go through this is the hard part right here. Go through the single crochet that I had on my needle earlier. The 2 that are consecutive right next to each other. Okay, so I'm through the back, through the leg, through the front. And I'll pull that through, leave enough tail to sew. So I'm going to leave about 7 inches, 6, 7 inches. All right, and now I'm going to go through the top, the very next single crochet, the very next single crochet of the leg. This is so hard to do on camera. Very next on the top, through the leg. Let me move you guys just a little bit. I think that's going to help. So I went through the very next single crochet on the front, the next single crochet on the leg. I'm going to tighten everything up. And the very next single crochet on the back. Right there. And pull it. Next single crochet on the back. Next single crochet on the leg. Next single crochet on the front. Next single crochet on the front, which I can't see. Next single crochet on the leg. And the next single crochet on the back. Okay. Next on the back, next through the leg, next through the front. All right, so I'm going to let you guys finish that. It's a little hard for me to do because I can't see what I'm trying to do it on camera. So I'm going to get this leg done and then I'm going to stop, okay? So I'm going to go in and out through the front leg, back, back leg, front, back and forth, and I will be right back. All right, so I made it across, and I've got a little lump right here on this side and then one on the outside. We're going to take care of that out here. But right now what I'm going to do is just go into the next single crochet, and then I'm going to go right into that slip stitch right there. There's kind of a bump sticking out. And then I'm going to go into the next single crochet. Okay, so that is that leg fully sewn on. Now, see how I got that lump out there? We are going to take care of that. I'm just going to take my tail here. If you don't have that, then it's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. But that is, I think where I attached maybe? I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to take my needle right through it. Let's see. I'll go through it again and then go to the inside of my body. My hands are greasy from my lotion. There, and then pull that in. So that pulls that in a little bit right there. But we will take care of that more later. I'm gonna let it hang out. Okay, so now we are going to get our other leg, and we're going to repeat the same thing from the outside in. And the reason being is we're going from the outside in is because if there are any single crochets that we are off, we can hide them in the middle, in the crotch area. Okay? So I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Start from the outside to the inside. So you may need to stretch this. Stretch it good. And you don't have to go stitch for stitch. You can skip stitches if you need to, depending how many single crochet you have on your leg. You can work a couple into one single crochet if you need to. It's not going to be noticeable. Nobody's going to see it. But I am just going to repeat the same thing I did. I'm just going to go ahead and stay with you guys too. Okay, so I'm going to start from the outside, just like this. And I'm going to go into that side bump right there. So, no, I'm not like that. I'm going to go into the back first. Catch that side bump right there. And then, I'm not even on camera. Jesus, sorry. And then go through that part. All right, now I'm going to just work back and forth through this one and this one and the back. This one, this one, this one. here, here, and here. Here, through that, through this one, this one, okay, so I'm going to stop for a minute because now is going to be the perfect time. If you want to add more polyfill to your doll, go ahead because we're getting ready to sew it up. And I am actually going to add a little bit more. And then I'm going to use the bottom of my crochet hook to move it around where I want it to go. I still want more in that neck area. That's bugging me. Alright, I like the look of that. I'm going to add just a tad bit more towards the bottom here. Get into these corners. Okay, I think that's nice. I am happy with this. All right. Now I will finish sewing her up. Where am I at? Here. Okay. I'm going to go here into the back. Uh-oh. I got a hold of some stitches I didn't mean to. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I messed it up. Here, here, and here. See where I caught those stitches? I didn't mean to do that. Alright. So now that I'm getting closer to the end, dang it, I can tell that I am going to be off a few stitches. Which we all are. Nobody's going to get this perfect. So I'm going to work 2 into 1. Right here. And that is going to be my last one, but I'm actually going to make sure this is secure and go in and out of that tip. I just poke myself just like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just go right straight across. We got a little bit of a hole. Well, no, I actually had another single crochet right there. I didn't even see. Oops. That's all right. Nobody's going to see that. Okay, so we completely sewed this up. So I came to both ends ending in the same spot. So now I'm going to take these 2 tails, tie them in a knot, a double knot. Just like that. Trim them down. I'll load them both on my needle. And just run them straight into the body. Pull and snip, and they pop right back inside. Now I'm going to straighten up this side of the leg and then adjust some of this polyfill. So you see how I got that ridge right there on the side of the leg. I'm going to get that taken care of. I'm just going to go right through that, through the body. Do that again. And then I'm not going to pull it all the way through. I'm going to stop, bring it back, and come through that hole or that loop and knot it off. Take it to the inside of the body. And cut. And there is our doll. Well, oops, forgot to finish the neck. Alright, so at this point is where we are going to adjust the polyfill inside. So I'm just flattening it out so it looks nice. And test your head. Is it on there secure? So like when I pull mine, see how it's not, the chain that we weaved in and out of is staying in the ridge of that neck? That's what we want. It isn't coming out of there. So I am going to go ahead and knot this off. So I'm just going to go bring you guys in for this. Oh yeah, that was shaky. Alright, so I'm going to go in close to where I came out. Don't pull it all the way through, leave a loop. I'm going to run my needle through that loop and pull it as tight as I can to create a little knot. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go right inside of the body and come out somewhere, doesn't matter where. Make sure I don't have her hair in that. I do. Ah, I got it all over the place. Okay. And now, pull that tail, cut, and the tail pops, oh, excuse me, back inside the body. So there is our doll. Let me get you guys pulled out. Ta-da! So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Let me turn her head straight. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. So this is going to be the end of part 1. And this is our doll. So in part 2, we're going to make her bonnet, her panties, her dress, and I'm going to make a little bow for her hair in case you don't want the bonnet. Basically, let me show you. I got my other one right here. We're going to make her dress, her bonnet. Oh, I didn't put her panties on. Here's my other doll. You can see that leg seam isn't perfect, but she's still adorable. All right. So, subscribe if you guys haven't, so you never miss what's next from me. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave me a comment. Let me know what did you, if you guys are making these, I want to know what you named them. Mine's Bonnie. And, let's see. Comment. Let me know what you guys think. Comment their name if you're making it. And in the description box are links to my Instagram and my Facebook. I would love to see you guys make these. Love, love, love it. My Instagram is down there, my Facebook group, my Twitter, my email. I would love to see you guys make these and what you named them. Alright, so this is the end of part 1. Part 2, we are going to make her dress and everything. So, and don't look at this. That's my mess up. Hide that sleeve. That I messed up right there. But you guys won't know. Alright, that's it for me, guys. Part 2 will be out later today. If you're watching this as soon as it's out, it'll be out later today. All right, and that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today in part 2 of our Miss Bonnie doll, we are going to be making the dress. So just the dress, the ruffle, the blue, and then the ruffle, okay? So in the description box, I'm going to have a link to part 1 and part 3 of this little crochet along. So you are going to need 1 skein of the color you've chosen for the main color. So the main color on this one is white, and the main color on this one is that royal blue. And then 1 skein of your secondary color, which on this one was pale plum, and then this one is wildflower, the variegated. And of course, you're going to need your 4mm hook, your stitch marker. You're going to need, oh, excuse me, you're going to need scissors, a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and then whatever you've chosen to use as the closure for the back of your dress. But like I said at the beginning of part 1, you can use strands of your yarn, you can use buttons, just make sure your buttons will fit through the holes on the back of your dress. You can use hook and eye closures. I ended up, I'm sorry, I bumped that. I ended up using, there we go. Using these sew-on snaps with needle and thread. Just, it's super easy to do. But anyway, so that's all you're going to need for today, or well, for this episode. For Pete's sake, if I could talk today. That is all you're going to need for part 2 of our Miss Bonnie doll. So get those supplies together and let's just get right into it. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to get my main color, which is this really pretty royal blue. I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you have enough tail to weave in. Okay, and we are going to start with a chain of 33. So I am definitely not going to make you watch me chain 33, so I will be right back. Okay, so I got my chain of 33 done, and I'm going to start row 1. We single crochet into the second chain from our hook, so not this one, but that one right there. We're going to single crochet right into there, and all we're going to do is single crochet into each chain, all the way down the length of our chain. Okay. 1 single crochet into each chain, and I am going to get mine done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've come to the last chain, so I'm going to single crochet into the last chain, chain 1 and turn, and for row 2 we're going to single crochet into the very first single and single crochet into each single. So just single crochet all across your singles, and I'll come back when we get to this very last single crochet. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm coming to the end. I have a few more single crochets to work into. This one, and one more right there at the end. It's a little tough to see. It's right at that end. All right, so now I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and to move on to row 3, we're going to repeat row 2. We're going to do the exact same thing. Single crochet into the first single, and single into each single across. All right, so I'm going to let you guys finish row 3, and I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I'll be right back. Going quick so far. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have single crocheted into each single all the way across, and I should have told you guys, but I didn't. I completely forgot about it. You're gonna have 32 single crochets for row 1, 2, and 3. 32 single crochets. Okay, so let's go on to row 4. We are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet into the very first single crochet. So I'm going to go right in there, and we're going to single crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2. We're going to single crochet increase into the next 1, 2. A single crochet increase is just 2 single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so we just single crocheted increase. So now we're going to single crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet increase into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat across our row. Increase, single crochet increase, single into the next 5. Let's increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet increase into the next. All right, so you repeat that across your row, and we're going to end with a single into the last 4 single crochets, okay? So we work the increase, single crochet 5, increase, single crochet 5, and then you work that across, and then you should end up with a single into the last 4. So I'm going to get mine done, and I'll meet you when I get to the end. Okay, so I worked my increase, single crochet 5, increase, single crochet 5 across, and I am going to end with an increase and then a single into the last 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the end of row 4. And you should have... Okay, sorry about that. You should have 37 single crochet at the end of row 4. All right, so we are going to chain 1 and turn. Oops, I chained 2. Chain 1 and turn, and we're going to repeat row 4, single crochet into the first 3, increase, single crochet 5, increase, single crochet 5, increase, single crochet 5, increase. Repeat that across. The only difference is we're going to increase and then single crochet into the last 3. We're not going to have 4 like row 4 did. We're only going to have 3 at the end, okay? So go ahead and work your repeat, which is the single into the first 3. 1. I'm trying to make this hook stop squeaking. All right. Single crochet into the first, single crochet into the next, and the next, single crochet increase, single crochet into the next 5, increase, 5, increase, and then when you get to the end it should be increase, single into the last 3. All right, I will be right back after I get mine done. Okay, so I have worked that across, single crochet increased into the 4th to last. So now I have my 3 single crochet left. So I'm going to single crochet into these last 3. Is that what I just said? Oh my gosh, this hook is driving me insane. Let me see if this hook will not squeak. Nope. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so let's just move on. That was the end of row 5, and you should have 43 single crochet. We're going to move on to row 6, chain 1 and turn. And row 6, we're going to single crochet into the very first single crochet into the next 5 single crochet. So what we should have is 6 single crochet together at the beginning. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet increase into the next single crochet into the next 6, and that's what we're going to repeat. Increase, single crochet increase, single crochet into 6, single crochet increase into the next, single into the next 6, and we're going to repeat that across our work. We are going to end with a increase into the second to last single and 1 single crochet into the last single crochet. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that across. Single crochet, increase, single into the next 6, increase, single into the next 6, increase, single into the next 6, and I will meet you when I get to the end. Alrighty, so I'm coming to the end of row 6, and I worked my increase. I have 1 single left, so I'm going to single crochet into that very last single crochet, chain 1 and turn, and we should have 49 single crochet. So for row 7, we're going to repeat the exact, well, not the exact, I shouldn't say that. We're going to repeat row 6, single crochet into the very first, single crochet into the next 5, so you have a total of 6 single crochet increase into the next, single crochet into 6, increase, all the way across the row. The only difference is we're going to end with a single crochet into the last 7 single crochet, okay? We're not going to increase into that last. We're just going to work 7 single crochet into the last, single crochet into the last 7 single crochet, okay? So to go over that again, we're going to single crochet into the very first, then into the next 5. So that's going to give us 6 single crochet right there. Then single crochet increase into the next, single crochet into 6, increase into the next, 6 increase, 6 increase, 6 increase, all the way, increase into the 8th from last, single crochet into the last 7 single crochet. All right, so I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I made it across row 7. I have my, where's it at? Okay, so I have my increase right there and a single crochet into the last 7, and you should have 55 single crochet. Now we are going to move on to row 8. And row 8, we are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet into the very first single crochet, and we're going to single crochet into the next 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. All right, so you should have 7 single crochet right there. And now we're going to single crochet increase into the next. And then single crochet into the next 7, and that is our repeat for row 8. Single crochet increase, single into the next 7, increase 7, increase 7, and you're going to repeat that all the way across for row 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. And you're going to end row 8 with a single crochet into the last 7 single crochets. So I'm going to get mine done and be right back. Okay, so I've worked that across. I have single crocheted into the last 7 single crochet, and you should have 61 single crochets now. And we're going to move on to row 9. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start our sleeves. So we are going to single crochet into the very first single, and we're going to single crochet into the next 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 8 single crochet right here. Now we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to skip 13. So don't count the one you just single crocheted into. Go to that next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm just going to grab that next one and give it a little bit of a tug so I can see where I need to go. So the 14th one is the one I stretched. And we're going to go right into that one. Single crochet. Oops. Dang it, I just lost it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Single crochet into the next. and single crochet into the next 18. So you'll have a total of 19 single crochet. 1, 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, slack, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, now we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Skip 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then single crochet into the next, and then single crochet into the last 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good deal. So we should have 8 single crochet, chain 8, 19 single crochet, chain 8, 8 single crochet. Okay? All right, so that was the end of round 9. Round 10, we are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet into each of our singles. Go ahead and get these done real quick. So there's my 8 single, and now we're going to single crochet into each chain. So the back of the chain's facing me, so I can see my back humps. And the easiest way I do this is to count. I know I have 8 chains, so I need 8 single crochet. So I go straight into the top loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then single crochet across the 19, and then count your 8 chains, single cross those 8 chains, and then single crochet across these last 8 singles. The reason why I'm telling you guys to count across your chains is because it's really easy to skip that very first chain. So this very first one and that very first one. So if you do your 8, count your 8 single crochet, and then count your 8 chains, go ahead and count your 19, and then count your 8 chains, and then count your 8 last ones. So then you're going to know you're going to be on count. So I'm going to get mine done, and I'll come back and tell you guys how many single crochets you have. You should have, let's see, 8 and 8 is 16. 16 and 16 is 32. 32 plus 19, 51. Ah, I did it right. All right, so you should have 51 single crochet. All right, I'm going to get mine done, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I have my row 10 done. I have my 51 single crochets. So we are going to chain 1 and turn, and row 11, 12, and 13, we are just simply going to single crochet right across. Nothing, or not nothing, no increasing, no chaining, nothing. We're just going to single crochet into each single, chain 1, turn, single crochet into each single, chain 1, turn. We're going to work that for row 11, which we're doing right now. So we're going to single crochet all the way across for row 11, chain 1, turn, row 12, single crochet all the way across, chain 1, turn, row 13, single crochet all the way across, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my row 11, 12, and 13 done, and I'll be right back. All right, so I just finished my row 13. So when we single crocheted into that chain, that was row 10, 11, 12, 13. So now what we're going to do is bring our two ends together, and we are going to slip stitch to that first single crochet right there, because now we're going to start working in the round. So slip stitch, chain 1, and we are going to work a double crochet increase back loop only into that first single crochet. So scooch over that slip stitch a little bit right there. You see your single right there? We're going to work back loop, double crochet increase, 1 and 2. So the double crochet increase is just 2 doubles into 1 stitch. And then we're going to back loop. Check my pattern, make sure I'm doing that right. Yep. Back loop, double into the next double. Back loop, double crochet increase into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat around. This entire round we're going to be working in the back loop only. Can't get any slack. All right, so this entire round we're going to work in the back loop only, but we're going to work increase, double crochet increase, double, double crochet increase, double, double crochet increase, double, all the way around. And I will meet you when we get to that last single crochet, okay? I will be right back. All right, so I have repeated that around, and I come around to a double crochet increase into the very last single crochet. Remember, back loop only, all the way around. We're not going to do that anymore for this pattern, okay? We're going to work straight into both loops now. All right, so for round 15, 16, 17, and 18, we are going to slip stitch to the very first double, which it's kind of a little sideways right there. Slip stitch into there, chain 1, and double crochet into each double crochet around. And that's what we're going to repeat for 15, 16, 17, and 18. So I am going to get mine done off camera, and I will come back when I've finished round 18. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished round 18, and I'm going to slip stitch to my first double crochet right there, chain 1. In row 19 we are going to double crochet increase into that first double crochet, so that's 2 doubles into 1, and then double crochet into the next 2, 1 and 2, double crochet increase into the next, double crochet into the next 2, and that is what we are going to repeat around. So you're going to double crochet increase into the next, double into the next 2, increase, double into the next 2, increase, double into the next 2, increase, double into the next 2. Repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you when I get back to the beginning, okay? I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've repeated that around, and I have ended up with an increase and then 1 double left, so you just go ahead and double into that last double. If you don't come out exactly like that, it doesn't matter. Honestly, past double in here, past the round that we worked our first round of double crochet. Why are you not focusing? The first round of double crochet on, the stitch count doesn't matter. So if you guys aren't exactly the same as mine, it's not a huge deal. Don't even worry about it, okay? All right, so let's slip stitch to that first double. Slip stitch to that first double, chain 1, and for round 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, all you are going to do, slip stitch to your first double, chain 1, double crochet into the first double, and double crochet into each double crochet around. And that's it. So round 20, which we're doing right now, oops, round 20, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. All you're going to do is single crochet around. So if you guys want to get a piece of paper and make little tally marks, or just work it and then count it later, however, that is what we are going to do for the next 6 rounds. All right, so I am going to go ahead and stop my camera here and get my 6 rounds done, and I will be right back. Okay, so I finished round 25. I double crocheted into that last double, so now I'm going to slip stitch to my first double, chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to fasten off. Now you can go ahead and weave in your ends if you want to. I'm going to leave mine right now. I don't need them. I don't need to weave them in. I am going to go ahead and go on to round 26. So I'm going to get my variegated. You guys can get whatever color you're using. And where is my dress? Can't find my pattern. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so for row 26, or round 26, we're going to get a slip knot on our hook and make sure you have enough tail to weave in. And I'm going to go right back into that same double crochet that I slip stitched into. So if we look, there it goes. You can see right here, that's the slip stitch, and then that little hole right there that I'm covering and uncovering, that's the top of that double crochet that we slip stitched into. So I'm going to go right back in there with another slip stitch, pull that tail, and I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to count as a treble. And what we're going to do for this entire round, we're going to work 3 treble into each double crochet. So we are going to get this nice pretty ruffle at the bottom of the dress. So yarn over twice, scoot that over, go in, and this is my yarn is going to be quite splitty. So that's 2 treble, because that chain 4 counts as a treble. And here is my 3rd. So now jump to that next double. We're going to work 3 treble. If you guys can hear that humming in the background, I'm rendering a video down, and it's, I don't know why, but it makes such a loud humming sound while it's going. Alright, so I got 1 more treble. Just like that. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 3 treble into each double crochet. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a homework portion here. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want my video, or I don't want this video to be 4 or 3 hours long. So what I'm going to do, what I want you guys to do is work 3 treble all the way around, okay? And then when you get back to the beginning, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch to that 4th chain. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1, double, or I'm sorry, not chain 1, chain 4, and then treble into each treble all the way around. So you're going to do that for round 27, 1 treble into each treble all the way around, 1 treble into each treble all the way around, and then repeat that again for round 28. All right, so you're gonna have, this is round 26, 3 treble into each double, all the way around, get back to the beginning, slip stitch to that 4th chain right there, chain 4, 1 treble into each treble all the way around. That's round 27, treble all the way around. When you get back to the beginning, slip stitch to the 4th chain up, the top of that chain 4, chain 4, treble into the next treble, 1 treble into each treble all the way around. Okay, so that's round 28. So I am going to work, so this is what it should look like when you're done. You have 29, 3 treble in each, or I'm sorry, what did I just say? 26 is 3 treble in each double all the way around. 27 is 1 treble all the way around. 28 is 1 treble all the way around. And then round 29, you are going to single crochet into the where am I at? Right here. Chain 1, single crochet into the top of the chain 4. All right, chain 3, single into the next treble. Chain 3, single into the next treble, all the way around. Oop, not that, right here. Just like this. Single, chain 3, 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 all the way around for round 29, okay? I should write this down, right? Because I don't want you guys to get confused. I'm going to do it real quick. All right, so 26. 3 treble into each double, okay? Slip stitch to top of chain 4. Chain, not 1, chain 4. 27 and 28. Treble into each treble all around. Slip stitch to top of chain 4. After round 28, chain 1 instead of 4. So we're just going to chain 1. Round 29, single crochet into the top of the chain 4, chain 3, single crochet into the next treble, chain 3, and you're going to repeat from the asterisk all around. All right, and I am going to come back when I get to the end of my round 29, okay? Like I said, the reason I want to do this is because I want to try to keep this video from being like 3 or 4 hours long, because it takes quite a while. But so if you need any help at these rows, or I'm sorry, at these rounds, email me. My email address is in the description box, all right? So I'm going to get these done, and I will come back as soon as I finish, as soon as I get to the end of round 29, okay? So I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I have worked the 3 treble into each double, the 2 rounds of 1 double into each, or 1 treble into each treble, and then the single chain 3, single chain 3, single chain 3. Work that all around, and we are going to end with, so I am in the second to last treble, so I'm going to chain 3. Single into that last treble, chain 3, slip stitch to that first single, I got a strand in there, there we go, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. All right. So that is the end of the bottom of our dress. I really like these colors together. And you can see that I have already completed one of my sleeves, and that's what we are going to start now. So I'm going to give you guys just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and weave in my ends while I'm here. Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys just a second to get your ends weaved in, and then we will get started on our sleeve. Alrighty, so to start our sleeve, we're going to get a slip knot on our hook and make sure you have enough tail to weave in. And with the armhole facing us, I am going to attach, it doesn't really matter where, but I'm going to attach into the bottom of the first single into those remaining chains, that very first one to the front. I'm just going to attach in there with the slip stitch, chain one, and I'm going to double crochet right back in that space. And I'm going to double crochet in the, let's see, if you look, right there is the top of a single crochet that's worked into. I'm going to double crochet into there. And then I'm going to double crochet across all these singles right here. The goal for this round is to get 25 double crochet around the armhole. So if they're not perfect, meaning if, you know, you got to skip one or add one or two, it's fine. All we need is 25 double crochets. Okay. Okay, I've got one more single to work into, or actually that one's been worked into, so I'm going to go into that one, and then I'm just going to jump across to that little space, and then I'm going to double crochet into the remaining loops of the chain right there. Okay, I've got one more. Okay, now I'm going to stop, and I've made it back to the beginning, so I'm going to stop and count how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going to count that again because I think I accidentally messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so I need to add 2. So I'm going to pull back just a couple. And I'm going to go ahead and work an increase, which that gives me 1 extra. So now I will have 24. I'm going to double into the next, double into the next, and then I'm going to increase into the last. So now I should have 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, good deal. All right, so once you get your 25, I'm going to get that tail out of the way. We are going to slip stitch to the first, slip stitch to that first double crochet. And that's the end of round 1. I'm going to bring you guys in. I notice you're kind of far back. All right, so for round 2, we're going to work a double crochet into that very first double. So chain 1, go right back in there with a double. And now we're going to we're going to double into the next 4. So that was 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be 5 double crochet right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I just pulled one out. Okay. Now over the next 2 double, we're going to work a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, go into the next double, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Stop, yarn over, go into the next double, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And that's your double crochet decrease. All right, so now we're going to double into the next 5. Ooh. 1, oh, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Double crochet decrease over the next 2. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. Double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to double crochet decrease again. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. And now we should have 4 double crochet left. 1, 2, 3, and right there's that last one. So we're just going to double into the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so that's to end round 2. We're going to slip stitch to our very first double, chain 1, and now for round 3, 4, 5, and 6, we are going to just double crochet into every double around. So we're going to double crochet right back into that double we slip stitched into, right back in there, and double into each double. I'm going to go ahead and stay with you for this round, get it done. Just about there. I guess I thought I could get this done faster. I hate it having these like just silent spots in the video. I'm trying to get this done real quick. All right, one more to double crochet into. All right, so to end, we are going to slip stitch to our very first double and chain 1 and move on to round 4. And we're going to do the same thing for 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so go ahead and get your 3 more rounds done. Sorry. And I'm going to get mine done off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I finished that round 6 of double crocheting around. So I'm going to slip stitch to that first double, chain 1, and we're going to go on to round 7. So round 7, all we're going to do is single crochet into each double around. So I'm going to single crochet right back into that first double and work 1 single into each double all the way around. And once we make it around, we are going to slip stitch to our first single crochet, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to fasten off, and then we are going to work the little ruffle edge. Alright, there's the last double, single into there, slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Alright, so now for the ruffle around our sleeve, for this little part, we are going to work, oh, I got my skein backwards. We're going to work 2 treble, back loop treble, into each single crochet around. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook, get my sleeve, and into the same single crochet, I got to get you guys adjusted a little, into the same single crochet that we slip stitched into to fasten off. We're going to go right back in there in the back loop with the slip stitch, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to treble right back around that back loop. All right, now we're going to work 2 back loop treble into each single crochet all the way around. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get this round finished off camera. Just 2 treble into each back loop of the single crochet, each back loop around, okay? So I will get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, I have repeated that around. Tangled up in my yarn here. And to the back loop, I did my last 2 treble, so I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 4. So right there is the slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, right there's that 4th chain, so I'm going to slip stitch into there, chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet right back into there, chain 3, single crochet into that next treble, chain 3, single into the next treble, and that's what we're going to repeat for this last round. 3, single, 1, 2, 3, single, 1, 2, 3, single. All right, so I'm going to finish my round off camera and I'll be right back. Alright, so I repeated that around. I just singled into that last treble, and that is actually the slip stitch, chain 1, first single crochet. So I singled into that last treble, chain 3, and now I'm going to slip stitch to that first single crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And that is the end of our sleeve. So now I'm going to get these tails weaved in, and I'm going to stop my video and you guys go ahead and get your second sleeve made. I'm going to get my ends weaved in, and when we come back, we are going to work the ruffle around the waist. So this ruffle right here. We're going to work that ruffle. All right, we're getting closer. Okay, I'm going to get my ends weaved in and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I got all those ends weaved in. Now to start the ruffle around the chest, we're going to start with the back of the dress facing us, or facing up. So the neck and the back of the dress are facing us. And what I want is just like on these sleeves, I want my double or my trebles facing up. I don't want the, so like if just pretend like these are on the dress, I want them to face like this and not like this, right? So however you need to lay your dress so that when you work your trebles around this ridge right there, the trebles are going to face you, not the dress. Make sense? Clear as mud, right? Okay, we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and of course make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. And I'm going to come down here, and I can see that my first remaining loop from round 9, I don't remember what round that was. Well, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 was the first double crochets. If I'm not right, I apologize. So the remaining loops from round 13, I can see that my very first one is right here. And if it's not, if you guys miss one, or you don't exactly get the very first one, it's not a huge deal. It's not gonna hurt a thing. Just get the one that looks like it's the first one to you. Okay? And I am going to attach into that remaining loop with a, this is hard to do on camera, with a slip knot. Pull that tail, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and go right back into that remaining loop with a treble. All right, and now I'm just going to work 2 treble into each of the remaining loops all the way around, trying to make sure I only catch the remaining loop and not other stitches. All right, go ahead and do one more so you can see that my my trebles are facing up and the back of the treble is on the dress like that. All right, so work your 2 treble into each of the remaining loops all the way around, all the way around, and I will meet you when we get back to the beginning. All right, I will be right back. Okay, so I have repeated the 2 treble into each of the remaining loops all the way around. And now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and right there is the top of that chain 4. So I'm going to slip stitch into that. Chain 1, go right back in there with a single crochet. Chain 3, 2, 3, and single crochet into that next treble. Now if you pull it apart, you can see there's the post of the treble, so the top of the double or the treble is right there, and it's just a little wonky looking from working into that chain. So I'm going to single into the next treble, chain 3, single into the next treble, chain 3, single, and that's what you're going to repeat for the last round of this ruffle. Chain 3, single to the next treble, chain 3, single, chain 3, single, chain 3, single, all the way around, and I'll meet you when I get back to the beginning. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and I have finished working that round. Oh no, I haven't. I have one more treble to go into, so I'm going to chain 3, single into that last treble, chain 3, slip stitch to my first single crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. All right, so that is our little chest ruffle. So now what we're going to work, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but what we're going to work now, let me take her bonnet off, is this neck ruffle right here. All right, so ooh, I about threw her bonnet between my desk and the wall, and that's the not coming back from place. Okay, so to start our neck, we're going to repeat what we just did. It's 2 single crochet into into each of the remaining loops from the beginning chain, and then the single chain 3 around. And I want it to be the exact same way. So I'm going to have the neckline and the back of the dress facing up and facing me. Okay, so that way when we work the trebles, they're going to lay down like this, like how these are laying. That's how the neck's going to lay. So I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook and make sure I have enough tail to weave in. And I'm going to go right into the very first chain that I can see, the remaining loops of the very first chain, which I can see the legs of my single right there. See that? That's the legs of my single. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm just going to push my hook through there. Slip stitch, chain 4, and I'm going to treble right back in there. All right, now I'm just going to work 2 treble into each of the remaining loops from the beginning chain all the way around. All right, and just like most of the, well, just like every one of the ruffles we've worked so far, the stitch count does not matter. If you're off 1 or 2, it's not going to hurt a thing, okay? So, get back in there. So I'm going to get this treble round done. See how that's going to lay like that? I'm going to get the trebles and I'll be right back. Okay, so I worked that around my collar, and I did work 2 treble into the same chain with my slip knot. So now what we're gonna do is, instead of chaining 1, turning, and then single crocheting and chaining 3 back around, we're actually, I want my single crochets and my chains to be facing up just like my trebles are. So what we're gonna do is chain 1 and pull up a loop. Make sure you have enough to weave in and cut that. And then we're going to come back to the first, or actually, I'm sorry, not the first, but that chain 4, and we're going to attach and work our last round. The reason being is because I want my chains and my chain 3, or my single crochets and my chain 3s to face the same way as my double crochets are. So that's why we're going to reattach. So I'm going to come to the top of that chain 4. So there's my slip stitch. There's my little bitty chain 1, 2, 3, and there's chain 4. So I'm going to slip stitch into that 4th chain, chain 1, go right back in there with a single, and chain 3. And go into that next treble, which I accidentally worked into, but that's alright, it ain't going to hurt nothing. And I'm going to single into there. Chain 3, single into the next treble, chain 3, single into the next treble. So go ahead and repeat that around your collar, and I will meet you when I get back to that last treble, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I have worked that around the collar. I have one more, that very last treble to work into, and I already worked my single, chain 3, so I'm going to single into that last treble, chain one, pull up a loop, make sure you have enough to weave in, and cut. Okay, so now, oh, it's so pretty. I'm happy with how my colors came out. Look at that. I love it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. I'm going to weave in all my ends, and when we come back, we're going to attach the little buttons or little snaps or little hook and eye closures, whatever you want to use on your dress. Or you can just use strands of yarn and tie a bow, or a ribbon and tie a bow. But I'm going to get my ends weaved in, all of them this time. No ends are going to be left. I'm going to make sure I got them on the inside too. Get that all done, and we are going to attach whatever we're going to use for the back of our dress. All right, so I will be right back. Okay, I got all of those ends weaved in. Now, I originally wanted to use hook and eye closures for the back of my dress, but I cannot find them anywhere, and I don't know what I did with them. So what I'm going to use are these these little sew-on snaps. They come from Walmart, and I'm going to use a yarn or a thread that I could find that I have that matches my dress the best I can. All right, but you guys can do whatever you want. You guys can use buttons. Just be aware that if you're going to use buttons, make sure they're the size that you can pop through your stitches. So you can pop through these stitches, or you can just weave a strand of yarn in and out, or two strands, a strand on each side, and just tie them together. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to put the dress on my doll, because I want the neck to be snug around her neck. I noticed it's a little loose, which is kind of weird because my first one, the one you can see right here, it's not like that, so I'm not 100% sure why this one is, but I am going to put my dress on her and kind of gauge where I want to sew my snaps on. All right, there's one arm. The hands are a little bit of a pain to get through the sleeve because her fingers are all stretched out. All right, so I am going to get all of her hair out of the way. Actually, I thought I had a hair clip right here. Give me just a second. I'm gonna grab a hair clip and clip her hair back so I can work without messing her hair up. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I am going to pin her hair up. You don't have to do this. I want to do this to just keep it out of the way for me and you. Get it all in there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to get a couple stitch markers, and I'm gonna mark where I want to put my snaps, and I want to use 3. I want to use one at the very top, one in the middle, and then one right above that waist ruffle, so it'll lay on top of each other. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring my piece together. So I'm just overlapping my left over my right side, hold that down, and I'm just going to look at her. Oh, look at her hair. And see how I like that. Now, I like the way that looks, so I'm just going to hold on to this, and I'm going to put a stitch marker where my left side went over my right side. No, that ain't right. I want it on the edge of this side and right here on this side. My stomach just growled, if you guys could hear that. All right, so there's that. So I'm going to lay that back over, and now that kind of tells me, just bringing this over, I want right at the edge here. And right here on this side. So lay that back over. I don't have another stitch marker, but I'm going to put the last snap right here. I'm not even on camera. Are you kidding me? I'm going to do that over again because I want you guys to see what I was doing. I am sorry. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this side, bringing it over to this side. And I like where that's, actually, I'm going to move it over just again. So right here is where I'm going to put the snap on this side. And on this side, I'm going to put the snap right there. So I'm going to lay that together, bring this over. I'm going to put a snap right around in here on this side, and then on this side I want it right there. So I'm just going to put a stitch marker. All right, bring that back over, and now I'm just going to mark this side. I don't have another one for this, but I'm going to put it, I want to come down to about right there and put a stitch, a snap. So I'm going to put a snap here, 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 and here. And with these, it's the ones that you have to have two, and they snap together. They're just like this. Oh, I dropped it. So it snaps together like that. All right. So one will go here, one will go here, well, on the reverse side right there, and then bring that over, snap it. All right. So I'm going to sew these off camera, okay, because I am not the best at sewing, and I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me. And if I did this on camera, this video is already over an hour. How about I just do one on camera with you guys, okay? One set. So what I'm doing is getting a long strand of my thread. Oh, that's probably a good 2.5 feet, maybe more. And I'm going to take my thread needle. I'm going to thread that. Okay. And now bring my two ends together. Hold that, and I'm going to tie this end in a knot. And then I'm going to tie a couple more knots right on top of that other one. So if you hold the knot as much as you can, it kind of keeps the knot that you're creating on top of the one you already did. If that makes any sense. All right, so now I am going to take my two pieces, and I want this one to go right there. So I'm gonna take out my stitch marker, put it where the stitch marker was, and not start sewing because I need to take it off my doll first. Duh. All right, without stabbing myself, take the dress off of the doll. Keep that placement. All right, now I'm going to start sewing this snap on. So I'm going to go in, come back out, in, come back out on that last hole right there. And then just keep going around and around and around. Make sure I've got it where I want it. All right, so now I'm just going to keep sewing around and around and around. I will be right back. Okay, so this one is sewn on. It looks horrible, I know. But before I go on to sewing this one on the underside of this side, I'm going to make sure it still snaps, because sometimes if you put too much thread in here, it'll come right out. So, or I mean, it won't come out. This side won't snap to this side. So I double check to make sure it snaps, and it does. So now what I'm going to do is just come over to this side on the inside of this flap and sew it on so it snaps shut just like that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew all these snaps on off camera because this one has aggravated me, so I'm going to cut it and start over again. All right, so I'm going to get these sewn off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gotten all my snaps sewn on there. Just like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it on her. So this is going to be the end of part 2. I'm going to go ahead in part 3. We are going to make this little panties, and then the bonnet, and then we're going to make a little headband in case you don't want the bonnet. So yeah, I think I am super happy with the way she's turning out. Especially the colors I chose. I wasn't 100% sure how this was going to turn out, but I am really happy. Get your thumb there. Her thumb got stuck in the sleeve. All right, get this one in. But look in the description box. There's going to be links for part 1, in case you haven't seen that, and part 3. I about said part 2. Snap. Oops, I didn't mean to hit her head. Snap and snap. And there we go. There is her dress. Ta-da! Okay. So now all we need to do is we're going to make the little panties, and we're going to make the bonnet and little headband. All right, guys, so that is it for part 2. Go to the description box and click that link for part 3, and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And also down in there in that description box, there's links to my Facebook group and my Instagram and my Twitter. So if you guys make these, I would love, love, love to see the pictures. Oh, I think you guys could come up with some really amazing color choices and dresses for these dolls. All right, so that is it for this one, and I will see you later. Bye. Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of our Miss Bonnie dolls, or whatever you guys want to name yours. But in today's video, we are going to make the panties, if you can see them underneath there. I don't know if, well, here's the purple pair. We're going to make her panties, we're going to make her headband, and then we're going to make the bonnet. All right? So get your yarn. You're going to need your 4mm. You're going to need scissors, your yarn needle to weave in your end, and grab a 5mm crochet hook, because there's a part at the back of the bonnet where we are going to slip stitch across, and just to keep that from getting too tight, we're going to jump up a hook size and work those slip stitches just so that doesn't get too tight on us, okay? And that's it. All right, get your supplies together and let's get started. Alrighty, so to start our little panties, we are going to get a chain of 52 done, okay? So get a slip knot on your hook and make sure you have enough tail to weave in, and chain 52. So go ahead and pause the video and get that done, and come back here, and we are going to get started with round 1. So with round 1, we are going to hold our chain. Let me get all my yarn out of the way. hold our chain, bring it all the way down, run with our fingers, rotate your hand a little bit, and then grab that very first chain with the slip knot and point it to your hook, just like that. I'm going to pass it to this hand so I can get my yarn in my hand. Bring it back, and I'm going to go right into that first chain with the slip stitch and chain 1. And we're going to go right back into that very first chain with a double crochet. So 1, I'm going to pull that chain tight. All right, and now we are going to double crochet into each of the chains around, each of the remaining chains. Just 1 double crochet. All right, so I'm going to let you guys get this done off camera as I get mine done. It's just 1 double crochet into each of your chains, okay? All right, I'm going to get mine done off camera and I will be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've double crocheted all the way around, and my chain was kind of, or not my chain, but my work was kind of all scrunched up like that, so we just straighten it out. Bring that tail to the bottom, and I am going to go ahead and just pull that tail tight, or pull that slip knot tight. All right, so that is round 1. So we're going to slip stitch to the top of our first double crochet. So right here is our chain, right here is our chain 1, which the other side of it's kind of hidden in there, and then slanted right there is our first double crochet. So we're going to slip stitch right into that. All right, so for rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to slip stitch to your first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the very first double, and we're going to double into each double crochet all the way around. Okay, so once you make it all the way around, slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right back into it, then double crochet all the way around, slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet right back in there, double crochet all the way around. Okay, so you're going to repeat that for 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I will be back as soon as I get to the end of round 5. All right, I'll come back right before I slip stitch into my first double crochet at the end of round 5. All right, okay, I will be right back. All right, so I have repeated that around, and I just finished my 5th round, and I'm going to slip stitch to that first double right there, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to pull up a loop, and what we're going to do is we're going to count 27 stitches, and you can see I've already got mine marked right there, but we're going to count the one that we slip stitched into, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So 27 I'm going to go ahead and just mark with a stitch marker so I don't lose it. Get that back on my hook, and we are going to come straight across. Go ahead and pull that up a little bit, or just slide it out of the way, and we're going to slip stitch into the 27th double crochet. Chain 1, and we're going to start round 6. We're going to double crochet right back into that double we slip stitched into, and we're going to double crochet into each double all the way around until we get to that we're going to double crochet all the way around until we get to that last double crochet. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and continue double crocheting around. Oh, dang it, I messed that up. and I'll meet you when we get to that slip stitch. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I made it around. Oh, tangled up in my yarn. Okay, so I double crocheted into that last double before that slip stitch right there, and I'm going to come right over and I'm going to double crochet into each of the side loops of that chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to just double crochet right into that first chain. Double crochet into that next chain and the next chain. Okay, slip stitch to that first double crochet right there, and we should have 29 double crochets. So I'm going to start with the one we slip stitched into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Good deal. We did that right. All right. So now we are going to chain 1 and single crochet right back into that double we slip stitched into, and single crochet into each double crochet around. Super easy round. Ow, that ran right underneath my fingernail. All right, I'm gonna get this done off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I single crocheted all the way around, and right there is my first single. So I'm going to slip stitch into that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Slip stitch into that first single, chain 1, pull up a loop, make sure you have enough to weave in, and cut. Okay, so now we're going to get our variegated back, and we are going to, with enough tail to weave in, get a slip knot on our hook, and I am going to attach into that same single crochet that we slip stitched into, that very same one. I'm going to slip stitch into there, pull that tail tight, chain 1, and we are going to work 3 double crochet back into that single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to work 3 double crochet into each single all around this leg. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so work that all the way around your leg, 3 double into each single, and I will meet you when I have made it to my last single crochet, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I made it all the way around, and Churchy has made his appearance. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch to that very first double crochet right there. I know, Bubby. I know, Bubby. And then chain 1, and for the last round, round 9, we are going to single crochet into that very first double and single crochet into each of the double crochet all the way around, okay? So we're just single crocheting into each double. And that is it. So repeat that all the way around, and I will come back when I get my round done. Churchy, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have single crocheted into each double all the way around, and I'm going to slip stitch to my first single crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And that's the end of our first leg. So I'm going to go ahead and just go right straight to the second leg, and then I'll weave in my ends later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach into the chains in the crotch area. Slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. Oops, I'm sorry, I bumped my camera. And you can see right here, and right here are the remaining loops from that beginning chain, or that chain 3. So I'm just going to attach into the farthest one with a slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet right back in there, double crochet into the next 2 remaining loops, and then let's see, I don't remember what I do. I have 3, because we're going to end up with 29 just like the other leg, but I don't remember if we skip this one or work into it. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, we work into that one. I couldn't remember what I did, and I didn't write this down. All right, so we're going to double crochet right into the same double crochet that has that slip stitch right there in it. We're going to double crochet right into there. All right. And now we just double crochet back around to the first double. All right, I'm going to get this done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I double crocheted all the way around. I'm back to the first double that I worked into that chain. I'm going to slip stitch into there, chain 1, and then we just repeat what we did on the first leg. This is the that was round 6 on this leg. So round 7 we work 1 single crochet all the way around, slip stitch to the first, chain 1, cut, and then we attach our variegated, and then we work the 3 double crochet around, slip stitch to our first, chain 1, and work the 1 single crochet around. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys off camera get your second leg done, okay? And then when we come back, we have one more thing we're going to work on these panties, and then we're going to be done with the panties, and we'll go on to the bonnet and the little headband, okay? All right, so get your second leg done and come back. Okay, so I repeated my second leg, and I got all the ends weaved in. I didn't weave this one in yet. If you did, it's not a huge deal. It's not going to hurt anything. But we have one more little round to do. So I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach into the remaining loops of our beginning chain. Where at, it doesn't matter. We're not going to keep track with anything. Attach with the slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet back into there. And then double crochet into the next 4. So basically all I'm going to do is put my hook where the legs of my first double crochet round is. So the legs are upside down. So where the legs come to my chain, I'm just going to put my hook and push, and it pops right through the remaining loops. All right. So we need the first one we started with and into the next 4, so we should have 5 double crochet, and then over the next 2 we're going to work a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, pull through 2, 3 loops on our hook, pull through all 3. All right, and that's what we're going to repeat around. Double crochet 5, decrease, 5, decrease. So oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. All right, so I'm going to let you guys repeat that around. Double crochet 5, decrease, 5, decrease. And I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I've repeated that around, and it looks like I have 3 double crochet left, which if you don't come out with 3 left, it's not a huge deal. A stitch count doesn't matter right here. Oops. And then that very last one right there, which is actually the same chain as our slip knot. All right, now I'm just going to slip stitch to the first, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Weave in my ends, and there are my little panties, or her little panties, I should say. All right, so I'm going to get my ends weaved in, and then when I come back, we are going to start on our bonnet and headband, and then we're going to be done. It feels like it's taken forever to film this. All right, I'm going to get these panties done, and I'll be right back. All right, let's start with our bonnet, and we'll finish with the headband. Okay, so for the bonnet, let's get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And if you guys can hear that, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and I want to see if you guys can hear this. If you can hear that real low, that right there. Right there. That's Churchy snoring. Okay, so anyway, we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch to that first chain. I always get my fingertip in there so I don't lose my ring. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then pull that tail tight to tighten down that chain we slip stitched into. And then into our ring, we're going to work 12 double crochets. So right in there and over our tail, 12 doubles. So that's 1. Oops, I split my yarn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get my yarn moved because I can't get any slack. I just pulled out a bunch of stitches. Dang it. How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, pull that center tail and we'll weave that in a little bit. But we are going to slip stitch to our first single, our first double, chain 1, and then we're going to work double crochet increases all the way around. So we're going to work 2 double crochet into each double crochet. 1, oops, 2, and into the next one with 2, into the next one with 2. All right, I'm gonna let you guys work that off camera and I'll get mine done and be right back. Okay, so I got round 2 done. Round 3, we're gonna slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, and we're gonna increase into that same double crochet that we just slip stitched into. So 2 doubles. Okay, now we're going to double crochet into the next. So just 1 double. Double crochet, increase into the next. Double into the next. Increase in the next. Double into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat around. Increase 1, increase 1, increase 1, okay? So work that all the way around and I'll be right back. All right, I got that round done. I'm going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, and 1, 2, 3. To move on to round 4, we're going to work a double crochet increase into the very first double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 2. So that's our repeat. Increase, 2, increase, 2, double crochet, increase, double crochet in the next 2, increase, double crochet in the next 2. Repeat that all the way around, okay? And I will come back as soon as I get mine done. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished that round and I ended with an increase and a double into the last 2 double crochet. All right, so now we're going to move on to round 5. So for round 5, we're going to only slip stitch into the back loop of that first double crochet. So here is the front loop, here is the back loop. We're going to only slip stitch into that back loop right there, okay? So slip stitch into that back loop, chain 1, and go right back in there with a single crochet. And then we're going to back loop single crochet into each of the double crochets around. So this is an easy peasy round. So go ahead and just back loop single crochet all the way around. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming around. I have 1 more double crochet that I back loop single crochet into, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop this to where it lays like that. So my double crochets are the back of all of my work, all my doubles are away from me, and it's like a bowl like that. Okay. So we are going to slip stitch to that first single crochet and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to double crochet into the next single, and we're not going to go back into that same single that we slip stitched into. We're going to go into the next one. So double crochet into that next one, and now we're going to double crochet into the next 38. So we should have 39 double crochets, so this one and then 38 others. So go ahead and get your 38 single crochets done, and double crochets, I'm sorry. I will be right back. All right, I'm gonna get mine done and I'll be right back. All right, I repeated. I double crocheted into 39, so I have my chain 3 and then 39 double crochets. All right, so we're gonna work in rows now. For row 7, we chain 3 and turn, and don't double crochet into that very first double crochet, because that chain 3 is going to count as a double. So we're going to double crochet into the next double, and then double crochet into each double all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get these done and be right back. Alright, so I'm coming to the end, and I have one double to crochet into, and then we have that beginning chain 3, so I'm just going to double crochet right into the top of that chain 3. Alright, so that was the end of row 7. So for row 8, 9, and 10, you're going to repeat the exact same thing we just did. Chain 3, turn, don't double crochet into that first double because our chain 3 counts as a double right there. So go to the next, double crochet into each chain, double crochet into each double crochet across, double into the top of that chain 3, turn. Repeat that. So you should have, so we're starting row 8, so finish row 8 and then 9 and 10, all right? And I will come back at the end of row 10. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished row 10. So now I'm going to chain 1 and pull up a loop. Make sure you have enough to weave in and fasten off. You can go ahead and weave in those tails if you want to, or you can wait. We are now going to work the ruffle around the face. So what I want is the bonnet facing me. All right, so row 10, the chain 1 that we worked at the end of row 10 and cut should be to your right. All right, and we are going to get our variegated, and we're going to work 2 back loop double crochet into each of the double crochet across row 10. Okay, so with my bonnet facing me, I can see the top of row 10, the chain 1 and fasten off should be to my right, and I'm going to fasten into the exact same double, or the very last double crochet into row 10, back loop only. Okay, with the slip stitch, pull that tail, tighten that down, chain 1, and work 2 double crochet right back into that back loop. All right, now that's what I'm going to work all the way across row 10. 2 back loop double crochet into each double all the way across. And I will meet you before we work into that chain 3, okay? At the end of row 10. So just 2 back loop double crochets all the way around. All right, so I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. All right, I am coming to the end. I have one more double that I need to work 2 back loop doubles into, and then my beginning chain 3, I'm going to just work a normal double crochets into, just like that. All right, so now we're going to move on to row 12, I'm sorry, chain 1, and we are going to turn this round, and we are going to single crochet into that first single, chain 3, and this hold on just a second. Okay, I was doing a little test because I thought about working a single, chain 3, single into the next, chain 3, single into the next, repeat that across, but it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it with single into your very first double crochet, chain 3, skip the next double, single crochet into that next double, and that's what we're going to repeat across. Chain 3, skip, single into the next double, chain 3, skip, single into the next double. All right, So you can go ahead and repeat that all across your double crochets, and I will meet you back at the beginning. All right, so I have made that across. I have 3 double crochet left, so I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just going to slip stitch in that last double. If your guys's doesn't come out like, or I mean single crochet, if your guys's doesn't come out like that, it's not a huge deal. Just make sure you get into that last double crochet. And now what we're going to do is chain 1 and rotate, and what we're going to do now is slip stitch all the way across here. So I recommend, just to keep it on the loose side, that you don't, because if you slip stitch that too tight, what'll happen is it'll bunch up. So the best way to prevent that is to go up a hook size. So I'm going to get my 5mm. Okay. And I am just going to start slip stitching across, nice and easy. And I'm not going any specific place. I'm just working it straight across there. Nice and neat. Going through the stitches. I keep wanting to single crochet, dang it. Just nice and neat. Slip stitch across there. All right. All right, so I am going to, actually, you know what? Well, I guess it's not a big deal. I was going to actually pull this out and cut that blue because I didn't want blue across here, but it's not going to be a big deal. Nobody's going to notice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, I'm just going to stick with you guys. I'm trying to get this hook to stop squeaking. All right, so I'm just going to go into, oops. Go into that hole right there, slip stitch, that gap, that hole, the gap. I'm just going to go into the top of that single, and now I'm just going to slip stitch into each single across there. Nice and easy. All right, now I'm back into around stitches, into a hole, just nice and loose. And I'm going to slip stitch right to where my colored yarn and my blue yarn come together. My variegated and my blue, right there. Where it comes together, I'm just going to work a slip stitch into, yeah, I'm just going to go right into there. And now I'm going to chain a length, where'd my tape measure? Oh, chain a length of 10 inches because this is going to be the tie for around our bonnet. And I'm going to go 10 inches. So off camera here, I'm just going to start chaining. And once I get so far, I'm going to stop and measure and see how long I am. I'm at 7. All right, now I'm going to stop. See how long. I'm just a tad bit past 9 inches. Go a few more stitches, check again. 10.5, I'm going to pull out 2. Okay, 10 inches. So now I'm going to pull up a loop and cut. Make sure you have enough to weave in because I'm going to show you guys how to weave your tail through your chain. All right, so that's our first tie. So now we are going to come back and get that variegated yarn back and get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And I'm going to attach in the same place, right where the color, the variegated and the blue come together. I'm going to come on now. I'm grabbing everything but my working yarn here. All right, slip stitch, and I'm going to chain another length of 10 inches. All right, so I'm going to chain, and I'm just now realizing that my first chain I used my 5mm hook, and this chain I'm using my 4, so I'm going to stop, pull those chains back out, and go back to that 5mm since that's what I used on my first chain. No big deal. Just getting this chain done. And I don't need to measure this one because I've got the first one to use as a guide. A little bit farther to go. All right, I'm going to call that good. Pull up a loop, cut, and there is our bonnet. So I'm excited to see what this looks like on her. So I'm going to go ahead and before I even get my ends weaved in, I'm going to put this on her and show you guys. And I have to tell you, the reason I'm excited to see what this bonnet looks like is because after we did the neck ruffle, I was a tad bit worried that she looked a little too much like a clown. I will say that adding the bonnet helps take away that effect, that clown look that I was worried about. Let me get her hair pulled out a little. Oh, look at her. All right, hold on. Let me get you guys. Look at her. I love it. Oh, I'm so happy that bonnet makes it not look so much like a clown. Yay. Okay. All right, let me take this off. All right. Oh, we are about done. One more thing. Oh, it feels good. It's taken me just about a week to film the doll, the dress, the panties, the bonnet, and the headband. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to weave your tail back through your chain. And then I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to get the rest of my ends weaved in. And then when I come back, we are going to make the headband and then we are done. We are done. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys in closer. All right, so I have my tail weaved into my needle and I want to go into the back of my chain. So what I'm looking at are the back humps, the back loops of my chain. See them? The camel humps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way through that back loop and this way through this back loop and just go back and forth through a few of them, okay? So this way, this way, this way. Now when you pull that tight, hold on to that slip knot or that slip stitch. Hold on to that. Okay, and I'm going to go through a few more. I'll do one more. All right, I'm going to hold that and pull it tight. Straighten the chain back out. And now what I'm going to do is when I come back down the chain, I'm going to take my needle and just start going through whatever I can get my hook into. Now I'm like right there. If you heard that, I'm ripping through the threads of my strand, and that's perfectly fine because that's what's going to hold tight to my tail. Real tight like that. Okay, now I'm going to hold it and give it a tug again, and then just snip that end. Right like that. And it stays in there. Okay, so go ahead and do that to your other chain and then get all of your other ends weaved in. And I'm going to get mine done. And then when we come back, all we're going to make is a little headband and the bow and we're done. All right. Give yourself, well, not yet. Let's not pat ourselves yet. Let's get this done first. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Okay, let's get this last piece done, okay? So what I want you guys to do is to get your main color. I'm going to make my headband with the headband part to be the main color, like the solid color of my dress, and then the bow will be my variegated color. You guys can do it however you want to. You don't even have to use the color of your dress, whatever you want to do, okay? And then I want you to get a slip knot on your hook and chain 45. I did mine a tad bit on the tighter side. I did make it snap a little every time I worked a chain, but don't do it too tight to where you can't work into your chains, okay? So if you need to, pause your video and get your chain of 45 done. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our chain and we're going to run our fingers down our chain. Don't let it twist. Grab your slip knot. I'm going to rotate it in my hand. Still not twisted. And then I'm just going to point it to my hook. Bring it to my hook just like that. Just point it at my hook. I'm going to pass it into my other hand so I can get my yarn on my hand threaded through my fingers. And then I'm going to slip stitch right into that first chain. Just like that. Chain 1, and we're going to double crochet right back into that chain. Oops, I split that. Okay, so now I'm going to stop and tighten down that slip knot and double crochet into each of my chains. Be careful to not let your chain twist, okay? So I'm just going to double crochet into each chain. Alright, so I am going to get mine done, and I will be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I've double crocheted into each of my chains all the way around. Now I'm going to slip stitch to my first double, and you can see right there, that little bitty band, that is the slip stitch. The little heart look right there is my chain 1, and right there is my first double. So I'm going to slip stitch into there, chain 1, pull up a longer loop for enough tail to weave in, and cut. Okay, so now I'm going to weave in these tails, and the main purpose of weaving these tails in, besides hiding them, is to also make sure it kind of tightens down the headband a little bit. So I'm going to take it through the loops of that double and then go straight through the legs. I'm going to pull that tight. Come back. One more time. Just like that. And cut. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing with this tail. I'm going to go through the legs this way. Pull it tight. Come back. Get out of there. Pull that tight. Go back one more time. And cut. Alright, so there's the headband part, and it will stretch whenever we put it on her. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. Now we're going to make the bow real quick. So the bow is simple. Get another slip knot on your hook. Make sure you get enough tail. We need a good length, more than to weave in, because this is what we're going to use to wrap around our bow. So my length is 9 inches. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough. All right, we are going to start with a chain of 24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thought I could get it done faster. I'm going to go ahead and just pause this and finish it off camera. Okay, so I've got my chain of 24 done. We're going to double crochet into the third chain from our hook. So there's not the one I'm holding, the one in front of my thumb. There's 1, there's 2, and right there's that third one, the one I'm touching with my thumbnail. We're going to double crochet into that chain, and then double crochet into each of the chains, each of the remaining chains. All right, so go ahead and get that done. I'm going to get mine done off camera just because it's a little easier to do. And as soon as I get that done, I'll be right back. Alright, I've got one more chain to double crochet into. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to double crochet into that very first double. Double crochet into each double. So excited to get this done. Crochet faster when I'm off camera, because when I crochet on camera, my hands are away from, you know, they're stretched out from me, they're away from my body. When I crochet normally, my elbows are tucked to my side and my work is right in front of my chest, you know, not like in my face, but I mean it's right in front of me, and it's so much easier to do that than to, you know, have your arms stretched out in front of a camera. So that's why sometimes it's like, I'm just going to pause and do this off camera. I can do it a lot faster. All right, so I've made that across, and I've got one more double crochet right there. We're going to double crochet into that. We're not going to double crochet into that chain 2, okay? We're just going to leave that alone. All right, so now we're going to chain 1, and then we are going to come down here and take this end to this end. Bring our 2 ends together, just like this. So it makes a little ring. And we are going to hold them flat, like this, and slip stitch through both sides, slip stitching them together. I'm just going straight through all of it, and getting making sure I'm going through both sides and slip stitching, and make sure you go all the way to the edge. All right, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to pull up a longer loop, because we're also going to need that to, let's see, how long was that loop? About 6 inches. And then pull it out, because we're also going to use that to make our bow. So now we flip the seam inside. So we flip it out like this. So the seam is to the inside. And then we're going to pinch it in half. Just like that. And now we're going to take the shorter tail, making sure it's nice and in the middle. And we're going to wrap it about 1 or 2 times. About like, we'll go one more time. Just like that. All we're doing is just getting the center of our bow started. Now this tail, I'm going to come this way. And I'm just going to make sure that that center is nice and tight. And I'm going to come around, and I'm going to stop. No. Bring it back. It's a little too short. I'm going to stop right there. Now before I tie these off, I'm going to look at my bow, see if I like it. Alright, now I'm going to take, that was my heater just kicking on, if you guys hear that. Now I'm going to take these 2 ends, and I'm going to tie them in a knot, but I want it to stay to the back of the bow. So I'm not going to go if I pull it too tight, it's going to pull to the front of the bow, and that's not what I want. I want it to stay to the back. So I'm just going to pull it, come on now, to where the knot stays to the back. Just like this. There. And then you can adjust it, you know, get your fingers in these sides, kind of stretch it. I do have to admit, I'm not liking the bow very much in this variegated yarn. And I almost wonder if it's because there's too much blue. What if I take, let me take that off. Yeah, I think it may be because of the blue. Or what if I just used only blue? Okay, so you guys can be done with your bow. I'm gonna fix mine because I'm kind of not liking the way it's looking. The color is what I'm talking about, not the actual work of my bow. There, I think I like that better. I just use the solid blue to tie off that bow. All right, I'm gonna go with that. I will take care of these tails. All right, now I'm going to tie off my bow. Keeping my knot to the back. Just like that. Okay, I like that better. That looks nicer. All right, so I'm gonna hide these tails. I'm not gonna do anything special with these ones that I messed up. I'm just gonna run them to the back of my bow here, just right through there, and cut, and then do this. I'm gonna wait to do these ends because I'm gonna see how I want to attach it to the headband first. So let me get you guys pulled out like that, and I'm gonna put the bow on her head, which I have her sitting in my lap, so that's why you can see the edge of my desk and everything. But what I want to do is put it completely on her head and then get all of her hair out of the back of it. So just like you would put a headband on a kid. But I'm going to try not to mess up her hair too much. Because, you know, curly hair, if you mess with it too much, it's going to frizz. So that's what I'm trying to keep from happening. Which, I mean, I'm not doing a very good job, but that's all right. Okay, so get all of that hair out. So it's like a necklace now. It's sitting on her head like or on her neck like a necklace. And then I'm going to take this top and I'm going to come up just a little, and then I'm going to pull some bangs out. So it gives her a little bit of hair there. And then I'm going to pull some hair out along the side. So what's going to happen is part of that hair is going to hold the headband on. Pull out a little bit more right there. Maybe a little bit more for the bangs. Okay, so what I have are the top of the double crochets facing her head, and then the chain is facing to the back of her head. So I'm just kind of messing with her hair now. Okay, I like the way that's looking. So if I take the bow to the side, look at that, that's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to use the tails to tie the bow to the headband. So I'm just going to thread one of the tails onto my needle. I'm going to set that, I want it to set about right to the side of her head. So I'm going to take that and run it through the post of a double crochet. Make sure you don't have any hair in there. If you do, just use your needle to get it out of there. And then I'm going to take my other tail, which is a little too small, and run it around the next post. Don't catch any hair. And then I'm just going to tie that in a knot. And you don't have to do this. If you want to glue it on your headband, go ahead. Probably be a lot easier anyway. All right. So now I am just going to take those tails to the inside of the headband. And weave them through a couple of the doubles. Just like that. And cut. And ta-da! Oh, I'm so happy with her. We are done, you guys. We're done. We're done. All right, I am going to pause my video, and I'm going to get her set up, and I'm going to get my other doll set up, and do my little exit, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, guys, now give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. You have made the cutest little dolls ever. Oh, I'm so glad we are done with these. And please, 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 in the description box, there's a link to my Facebook group. I'm sorry, I just popped my fingers. There's a link to my Facebook group. There's a link to my Instagram, and there's a link to my Twitter. Whatever social media platform you prefer to use, please, if you make these, join my Facebook group and post them. Tag me in your Instagram. Tag me in your Twitter. I want to see these. And also my email's down there. If you don't follow social media, which, you know, that's totally up to you. I don't blame you. Email them to me. My email address is down there too. Because, oh, I am so excited to see what you guys come up with these. You guys are going to blow me away. I know you will. Give yourself another round of applause because we're done. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed all 3 of my tutorials. Don't forget, down in the description box, the link to part 1 and part 2 are going to be in there. The link to the written pattern, the link to all my social media, my email. Show me what you make, okay, guys? If you were all here, I'd give each and every one of you a hug just for sticking with me. All right. Okay, what else? Is that it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.